Are you excited? I'm going to tell you what I feel you can prepare for in the 2021 year. What I'm going to tell you, shocker, is going to surprise you possibly, and some of you maybe not. You'll understand when you hear what I have to say about the coming next at least couple years. I think you're going to love this. Let's go. It's almost time for wine. All right, I was cooking dinner and I thought, getting some real clear downloads about what's about to come. What is about to come, 2021. We know there have been a lot of changes. We know we've dealt with a lot of challenges. This is all part of the transition into the Great Awakening, and I truly mean that. Why is it a Great Awakening? Because like the let's just say the illness that has swept over our planet, so is the awakening to what we truly want to be. There's an awakening to what we realize hasn't been working. And because of this massive challenge we're going through, it's been in our face. Do we turn on one another? Do we continue to argue? Or do we create an amazing earth, an amazing community, an amazing species that we were meant to be in the first place? Now, we never actually went astray. We did take it down to the dark side a little bit more than planned, but everything's choice, so nothing is by mistake. This is a planet of massive choices to darkness that doesn't exist on other planets or in other realms. That's why this is such a unique experience. Now, if you watched my prediction of 2020, this was, I'd say, about 3 months before any of the illness started to come out. I had no knowledge of anything, but I did tell you something really big was coming, and to fasten your seatbelt and to get yourself spiritually aligned and in check. I purposely was projecting or sharing that message out there to let you know that you could prepare for whatever was to come so that you didn't go into that space of fear. My whole channel is break through fear, live an amazing life, right? So what are we going to do here? We're going to loosen the seatbelt a little. Yeah, you didn't think I was going to say that, did you? We're going to loosen the seatbelt a little. You know that sound you hear when you go on the old-fashioned roller coasters? Click, 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 we're on the top. We're going to go over now. But here's the difference between what you might experience and somebody else. Someone else might be terrified and screaming all the way down, hanging on for dear life. And someone else, you know these people, they have their hands up. That was never me. Hands up in the air, going down the hill, laughing, frightened in a positive way, knowing that this is fun and we have more hills to come and turns and whatever, and seeing it as this exciting experience. And what do they do when they get off? They get right back in line. My brother and my cousin, those two, I think they rode it 20 some times one day. Once was fine for me. Now, when I talk about the roller coaster, we know that it's not really quite like a roller coaster, but I'm using that as a scenario because I want you to understand that how you view something is going to determine what happens. And I think so many of you have gone into a state of peace and knowing, and even if you still have the fear, you're in that space of awakening that is going to allow you to go through these next few years to participate in the Great Awakening. So what happens is, no matter what else happens after this point, it's not going to be such a surprise anymore. So this loosening the seatbelt is, I'm prepared for it. I'm okay if I slide a little around on that seat a little bit. I'm not going to be projected out of my seat into some no man's land. I'm going to be okay. I can release the seatbelt a little. And that seatbelt is basically, our our fear. It's like I'm afraid of actually loosening or, letting the seatbelt, unlocking it. Because I think something bad's going to happen if I do that. So do keep the seatbelt on. Some of you may take it off completely and say, I can never be harmed. There is never anything to fear. Everything that comes to me is my projection out into the quantum field of what I need to learn before I leave here. And if I happen to leave here, well, I'm off to great, amazing things. I better do a really good job while I'm here. And that's a totally different attitude than people are afraid of taking the shot or, wearing the mask and getting caught up in things that in the big picture are irrelevant. Those are opportunities for us to decide if we're going to compromise and work together in a shared space or not. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about who gets voted in or who doesn't. It's about how we handle those situations. That's all of this is. So when you get caught up in the actual discussion or subject, all you're doing is letting the ego go into, I'm right, you're wrong, let's argue, and we're in conflict and separation. And that is a very stressful, painful place to be. If you go into the Great Awakening, no words are ever necessary. You literally never need to speak. Right? You really don't. You're in such a state of peace that you observe everything. You find it funny and fascinating. I have to tell you, I was down in Florida. I just got back. My friend and I were talking about the whole thing going on out here and the experimental cruises, and we got to laughing so hard about it. We were crying, and everything became funny. And we realized how humorous it is. No, death isn't humorous or illness or pain. But we as human beings, we're pretty darn funny. And even all of that going on, it's just temporary. You're not permanently ever damaged or harmed. Never worry about that, because that is not who and what you are. So you can loosen your seatbelt if you recognize that and know that whether the financial industry tanks or not, obviously we're going to be affected in all those areas. There can be things that happen that actually may surprise you, that don't go into that space that we think we're going to go into. We're going to have a tough next couple of years because change is difficult for human beings. And some of you will find it enlightening. Some of you will laugh all the way down with your hands up in the air and realizing, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the transition we've been wanting for centuries. I can be a part of the species, the concentration field, the collective that is the solution. I couldn't have had that opportunity without this going on out there. I can end the, let's just say, conflict or separation, the arguments. I can end them. I can stop being angry with other people because they don't think the way I do or want the same things. It doesn't matter. Do what you have to do. Only the ego requires it to control a situation. So my friend, I know you're probably watching this. She has a wonderful friend who's very Christian and lives it, walks the walk. And when she goes to talk about her spirituality, some of the stuff that I talk about that's a little out there for some people, she doesn't get the kind of response that's very positive or open. In fact, this person pulls back. And so there's a sadness, she said, and I said, why? Shall the world think that we do? This is the beauty of diversity. Shall we all look the same, talk the same way? No. Can we respect one another and say, okay, if you're not ready for me to talk about these things or it makes you uncomfortable, I can listen. And that's what takes some real awakening, is to be okay with that and not say, well, she should listen to what I think. I listen to her. No, that's still the ego. It's tough to give that up sometimes, especially when you see the beauty in the exchange of the conversation, but not everybody is ready for that. All right, some people are going to stay in density. You're going to watch that happen. You're going to lose a lot of friends. I have amazing, beautiful people. I love them dearly. I find no fault in them at all. But they're going into a different space than I am, and I can't be around it. So I don't know if you saw, I'm on Instagram, and I saw a video that Jay Shetty sent over, and he said, negative people, what do you do? And it shows this dog that's on one of those vacuum, those, I guess, Zumba vacuum cleaners. Roomba? I probably got that wrong. And it turns and, scoots the other way. And that's what I recommend for you. I'm going to tell them how it is, and they can awaken, and I'm so sad all these people that... Really? All these people are doing amazing things. They're learning. They're going through pain. They're experiencing darkness. That's what they came here for. Don't be sad for them. This has to be let go too if you want to go into a space of peace. You will not be in peace if you think somebody is struggling and you need to change it. We came here to do that. They will also get to choose if they pull out of it. It's time for you to take care of you. Be the solution for others. Focus on the change that is positive, and you take care of you and quit looking at the negativity, quit getting caught up in the arguments, and whatever you think doesn't have to be somebody else's opinion or thoughts. And to attack them, well, you're just right in there with them then. I want you to loosen the seatbelt and stop fearing what is to come. It's nothing new. We've been through this for centuries, much worse than this. We have the ability and the technology now to cure and change anything. Isn't that wonderful? It's how we use it that's going to determine what happens from this day forward. So don't fear the other people with power and money. Focus on yours. You be the person that's doing something amazing instead of empowering them with your focus. Your quantum focus empowers others. Every time you think of it and complain about it, you're empowering them, and you're in the same negative energy. It's your spiritual butt kick. So don't be afraid. We're going into something amazing. And what's going to happen on out there, you're going to see it differently. And you're going to realize, I chose to be here in one of the most amazing time periods on the planet. I get to choose if I take this planet into the new earth or into the old one that destroys itself. Because there's a probability that does that. You don't have to be in it. You won't even know it happened, because you're going to be in a space where great change is coming. Wonderful, great change. Celebrate it, get excited, and start doing things out of the ordinary. I just went through I'm doing a 4-month cleanse. Woo! Wow, it was not easy. Colon, liver, cleanse, all this stuff. You go to LandriaOnkka.com, I'm actually going to post it. You can get a discount on it. It's amazing. It will give you clarity. It's changing my body. I'm eating completely differently, not even just by choice. It just, as far as what I have to eat, I'm actually choosing it because I want to eat differently. I feel like I really don't need to eat much at all anymore. Your body's going to start changing. You're not going to want to indulge in the poisonous world. You're going to start making higher choices with the products and services. If you go to LandriaOnkka.com, I'm actually testing products that are 100% vegan and non-toxic. I found a deodorant. I found toothpaste. I found all kinds of great stuff. I'm going to share all that with you because everything counts. Everything you do counts. So every time you do something like that, you make one teeny little decision. And I don't put my coffee, I put it in ceramic. And when I went down to Florida, I have my ceramic cup. I put coffee in there. Don't use the plastic anymore. Start making wise choices, my friend. Every single thing counts, and that is what's going to push you into that new earth where we're conscious and caring about everything instead of just doing what's convenient for us. So then you're not going in fear. You're saying, I'm in charge. Watch what you're buying your kids for the holidays. Is it going to end up in a dump somewhere? Wouldn't it be nice to give to others during the holidays instead of spending money on junk that we don't need? We've been giving away here, my friends and I, giving away like crazy. Unbelievable. All kinds of things that you can do instead of thinking about me and what I get and what I want. Also, if you guys want to go into this, my internet marketing, we're launching companies that are amazing, companies that are holistic, coaches, even affiliate marketing. People are recommending products and services that are really good for the planet and getting affiliate commissions for that. And I'm talking about actual businesses, not just going off and being an affiliate, giving links. We're learning how to take care of ourselves in a completely different way. So don't be afraid to step out of the box. And if you complain about somebody else, bye. Don't come, trolling around my channel. I want you to come here with an open mind and make your own choices. You don't have to agree with me, but make wise ones that aren't all about just you. But you can be abundant. Start changing those patterns. What you eat, what you say, what you think, everything counts now. Everything counts. I know you're ready for the Great Awakening. It's happening. I'm going into a state of euphoria that's amazing, and I feel that it's a collective one. There was a time period just here recently this fall, I told you there's going to be a big shift. I was feeling very strange, picking up on some very negative stuff. And I was hearing a lot of people saying the same thing. Just confusion and not feeling organized, and it just shifted. And I just feel so, not hopeful, beyond hopeful. I know we're okay. Nothing can harm you, my friend. You are so amazing and beautiful and perfect. I got to tell you, as of this video, the Miracle Circle is back on. Every month I'm going to have it. It's going to be a master class. Instead of an ongoing thing, we're going to have one master class. Well, I was doing that anyways. If you go to landriaonkka.com, or you go down in here, I'll give it to you. And if you're in Manifest Anything, my free video series, you'll get a discount to it. So we will have 2 to 3 hours. We are not only going to focus on, it's called creating miracles in crisis, during challenges. And so we're going to talk about how do you stay in that high frequency? How do you go into the miracle space when all this stuff starts to happen? Because we're programmed. It's going to be easy to go back to fear and all these other things, especially if some of it hits you personally. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to have a group meditation, and we're going to send light and love around the planet, because we're going to start raising the frequency. We're going to start sending it out there. We'll do this every month. But we're going to start with you first. Keep you in the high frequency and give you things to work on to raise it. So you can go to landriaonkka.com, you go into the store, you can see it listed in there as a master class or the Miracle Circle. You can go and Manifest Anything and find out. That does, if you can't make it live, it's on the 19th, it's a Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you can't make it live, that's okay. You'll get the recording, and it's pretty darn powerful. You'll go into the course on my site, and I will put the recording in there, and I'll give you some exercise things to work on. I'll keep adding that within 24 hours after we complete it. I'm on a mission. Every Sunday I have the Success Series here on my channel. The Success Series is when we talk about business, money, relationships, and the more practical side of how do spiritual people handle these things and make wise decisions so that you're not struggling. How do you get a job? How do you get new skills? How do you make money? How do you get out of that matrix thinking that keeps you in this rut? It's time for us to change the patterns. All of them. All of them. So get excited. You ready to loosen the seatbelt a little? Are you still afraid? Stop watching the garbage. Somebody said, I saw all this stuff and what's to come. And I said, well, if you're banging your head against the wall, it hurts. What do you do? You stop. So you'll never get any bad news my channel, not because I'm making stuff up or sticking my head in the sand, because I do live in that reality, in that dimension, and it comes with challenges. I'm on planet Earth too. I just see it differently, and I know that what is amazing, and I am, and so are you, and that is the most powerful thing in the universe. It is the universe. How can that ever be bad? The rest is our choice. What do you choose, my friend? You are so beautiful, so perfect. You came here that way. As a little baby, you were a perfect light. The rest, well, we took on the rest of the energy. But you can reconnect to that which you never lost. And that is pure unconditional love that no human can comprehend. That's what you are. That's what you receive every day at every moment. Don't you ever doubt that you are not protected. Don't ever think that you don't have your angels and guardians or that you aren't heard. You are. But it's your journey to choose, so nothing can interfere with that. But you can ask for assistance. Go ahead. I'm ready. Thank you for bringing me that gateway, opening that gateway to opportunities, to the right relationships for me, to the right job for me right now, the best possible, highest. And know what you want. Now watch my success series, we talk about this. What is the mindset? And I'm going to start training you guys and training you until that's who you are. Because that is who you are. All right. You ready to go? Please subscribe and share these. They're culling our channels again, so I'm losing a lot of subscribers, not because I'm not getting them, but I guess there's a lot of spam and stuff out there. So if you subscribe and share with your friends, I really appreciate that. It helps me a lot. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I got some big stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Going to Manifest Anything, my video series email, because I'm going to be a global speaker in 2 weeks at a summit that is free. And I'll share that information with you if you sign up. Blessings, my friend. I love you unconditionally, even if you leave a nasty comment on my channel. Blessings. Let's have fun. Namaste.